Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hector Dominguez. I am here on behalf of the Cook County Assessor's Office. We have a lot that we want to cover with you all tonight. So, first, I want to say thank you for being here. You quite literally could be anywhere else in the world doing anything, eating dinner, having some time with the family, hanging out. So, thank you for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. We are here today because we're going to be going over Rich Township, specifically appeals for Rich Township. But before we go any further, I want to give a couple just little things in the background, right? So we do have our civic engagement team in the background. They're going to be answering any questions that you might throw into the chat. Now, if you are like me and you are afraid that you will forget your question, just go ahead and write it in the comment section. Go ahead, throw it in there. We got one in there right now. Let's see what's happening. How you doing, Miss Stella Black? It's so good to have you. Thank you for always being in all of our events. But if you want to have a question and you're like me and you're super forgetful, go ahead and write it down. Go ahead and throw it in there. Go ahead and just whatever you feel like, nice and politely talking about, go throw it in the comment section. And what will happen is somebody from our team is going to be answering those questions during this live. Also, once I'm done, we will do a Q&A for any question that had not been taken care of, and we'll just jump right into it. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. So let me add my presentation. All right. And presentation is good to go. Let us begin. So, welcome to the Property Tax Assistant Rich Township Appeal. Before we move any further, please allow me to introduce to you your Cook County Assessor, Fritz Kagi. And I know a lot of people, when they see our office, when they see him, they want to know what our office actually does, right? So there are lots of things that our office actually does, but I'm going to go over some of those specific ones right now. So first, it is our job to put a value to your home based on a mass appraisal system. So we value over 1.9 million different properties. That's almost 2 million different properties, right? And we do that using a mass appraisal system. Here's something else we do. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Here's something else we do. We administer what's called exemptions, also known as discounts, right? That's the homeowner exemption, the senior citizen exemption, the senior freeze, all of those, right? That is what our office is known for. And then lastly, we also do what we're doing tonight, which is the appeal process. Here's what we don't do. We do not issue tax bills. We do not collect tax bill payments. We do not send out your tax bill. We don't do any of those things. So I just wanted to make sure people were aware of what we actually did. But what I want to do now is introduce you to the man of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remove myself off of the screen, and we're going to have Fritz Kagi, the living legend, the myth, the legend, come in and go ahead and take over.
Hector, thanks for that fine introduction there, and thanks everyone for being with us here tonight. We know it's a beautiful night. You could be in many different places, so you can do this from the comfort of your own home. We're going to give you practical information tonight that'll help you. I'm going to give you a little bit of the bigger picture, and then Hector, who is truly the star of this show, the expert who's been doing this for a long time, will give you the nuts and bolts of how to do an appeal, how to make sure that you're doing all the things that you can within our property tax system to make sure you're getting all your benefits. And then I, as the assessor, will be making sure that this system is working best for you. So our job, as Hector mentioned, deceptively simple. All we got to do is estimate the value of 1.9 million parcels of property in Cook County. It's America's biggest market-based property tax system. And our job is only part of that. It's to estimate values. What's the market value of everything, from the most humblest home to the biggest skyscraper? That's our job. Because how the property tax bill that you end up paying depends on how other people are assessed. So you want us to make sure that we're making sure that everyone is assessed within market values. We do 1/3 of the county every year as part of this process. This year, we're reassessing the south suburbs and the western suburbs, all the suburbs south of North Avenue. And the assessment notices that you just received, if you're in Rich Township, you would have received them. And this is part of the process where after we send you the assessment notice, you can tell us that we were off the mark. We know that even if we're doing our job well, that there are going to be many cases where we're off the mark because you are the world's biggest expert on your own home. And there are lots of things that we don't know about your home that we might have missed out on. And this appeals process is your chance to show us that. The deadline to file an appeal is October 23rd. So we want this information to help you to get your ducks in a row to get that appeal in if you find it necessary. And then we'll be happy to help you. The last time we reassessed the south suburbs was 3 years ago, right after the start of the pandemic. So the market has changed a lot. Let's show you what's different here versus what we had 3 years ago. 3 years ago, the housing market in a lot of the Southland, like in Rich Township, had been in the doldrums. It was after the financial crisis of 2008, 2009. We all remember how long we had to wait for the housing market to recover. And the south suburbs is one of the last parts of our housing market in the Chicago area and in Cook County to recover. Back in 2018, typical homes sold for about $132,000 in Rich Township. Ever since then, it's had a steady upward progression, especially since the onset of the pandemic. And so now, in 2022, the typical single-family home in Rich Township sold for $196,000, a touch under $200,000. And this is a good thing. It shows that all of us who withstood all those years of the doldrums are finally getting a return on our investment. And the assessments that we sent out reflect these transactions that have happened the last few years of rising prices. If you look in the middle, you can see what happened with condos. Condos are a smaller part of the housing stock in Rich Township. In Rich Township, we have about 22,000 single-family homes, just a little bit over 3,000 condo units. They're also progressing upward. You can see a typical price was a touch under $150,000 after having been $128,000 back in 2018. There are not many multifamily homes, but also those are progressing upward. Here, multifamily homes are 2 to 6 flats. They're also progressing upwards. This is because the world and people in Chicago are realizing that we have really great communities, really good values available in the Southland, and they want to buy. So this is how we come up with our assessments. We look at these sales that happen in your neighborhood. And if we go to the next slide, you can see in further detail what's going on, because we know Rich Township itself is very diverse with different communities, from Park Forest to Olympia Fields to Matheson. They all have different drivers, different dynamics, and different things are going on there. So you can find out what's going on by getting the assessment notice that we sent you and finding your neighborhood code. And then you can go to this webpage right here and see what's going on in your neighborhood. What were the sales that happened in your neighborhood? What was the range? How many sales were there? How does that compare to other neighborhoods nearby? There's a lot of information here that can be really useful for you. So if you go to www.cookcountyassessor.com/rich-2023, you'll be able to pull up this page, put in your neighborhood code, and then get off to the races, and you can find recent sales and go and find some comps. You can see how things are differing from community to community, and what sales did we use in coming up with our assessments. We're transparent in order to be accountable, not because we think we're always right. And that gets us to appeals, because you are the world's biggest expert on your own home. If we go to the next page, Hector, this is where we hand it off to you. An appeal is when you're saying that, hey, I'm not being assessed fairly, or I'm not being assessed accurately, maybe because we have the description of your property incorrect, or maybe just because we overvalued it. And this is where Hector can tell you all those different things, how you can represent this in appeal, and what to do next. Hector?
Thank you so much for the introduction. I really, really do appreciate it. I love that I get encouraged to just do what I love to do, and that's talk. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go ahead, and I will take it over from here, boss.
Okay. All right, Hector. Thanks, everyone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So there are multiple reasons why someone would file an appeal. I'm going to go over the three most common. So the first one is lack of uniformity. That means you and I live in the same area, same house, same size, same color, same construction, same everything. But for whatever reason, our values are different, which probably means our tax bills are different. And I want to know why. The second most common reason is overvaluation. That's probably everybody here, right? There's no way my house is worth this much. If my house was worth this much, I would sell it to you right now. And then the third most common is incorrect property description, also known as property description error. That means there's a factual error, not an opinionated error. Well, what the heck does that mean? Well, a factual error is, hey guys, you've been assessing me as a building with 6 apartments or less, but I really have a single family home. Or, hey, you've been assessing me at 3,000 square feet, but I really only have 1,500, right? There's a factual error. Now, what you see on the screen right now is called a reassessment notice. This reassessment notice is what you would have received in the mail. It's very important. On here is your PIN number, is your neighborhood code, is your construction type, is your property class, is your assessed value. What is not on here is your bill. This is not a bill. This is not a bill. This is not a bill. All right. Everyone gets this and assumes that this is their tax bill. That is not the case. There is no way to calculate what your tax bill is going to be from this information, right? If you have been assessed and your value is within 10% of what the median or averages are, can you still appeal? Yes. Will you get a reduction? I'm not sure. However, if your values are like way off, then you absolutely have basis for appealing, and this is why we're here tonight. So, what is the appeal process? First, you receive your reassessment notice. Then from there, if you disagree with the value, or even if you agree, whatever the situation is, and you want to file an appeal, you absolutely can, and you must have a reason. I'll go over that in a couple of minutes. From there, an analyst is going to then is going to review your appeal and see if your argument has any weight. From there, they'll make a decision, and then you will receive in the mail a decision letter. It's going to say, congratulations, we're going to lower your value by such and such amount. Or it's going to say, sorry, due to the uniformity of your neighborhood, we are not going to lower your value. Once you apply, you can do so by going to cookcountyassessor.com/online-appeals. From there, you can start your appeals, stop your appeals, change your appeal, edit your appeal, revise your appeal, all of that. You can also submit supporting documentation. You can do all of these things, and you will be able to do it for free. That is kind of like the cherry on top. We do all of these things, and it's for free. Now, I know some of you all probably get letters in the mail saying, hey, for, X amount of dollars, we can do this, we can do that. Listen, we do it for free. And just a quick reminder, Rich Township is open until October 23rd. That is your last day to file your appeal. That means you have 20 days to do so. Please, please, please make sure you take advantage of this time. All right, so now we're going to go into filing the appeal. You can go to cookcountyassessor.com and click on the word appeals. From there, you will be brought to this screen where you can find your appeal, what type of filing you want to do. So there are multiple different kind of appeals you can do, but what we're going to focus on today is residential. Once you click on residential, you just have to log in. If you have not ever logged in before, just create an account. It's easy, it's free, it's simple. Then you can log in. After you log in, you are at the available filing screen. From here, just scroll all the way to the bottom and find residential assessment appeal. Now yours is going to say 2023. This is a screenshot from last year. That's why it says 2022. But yours is going to say 2023. Here, you would click on begin filing. And once you begin, all you have to do is type in your PIN number and click the word search. Ladies and gentlemen, once you do this, your information will auto-populate. Now, if you are the only owner of the property, your name will show up immediately. However, if let's say you had the property that was previously owned by somebody else, all you gotta do is scroll and find your name, and there you'll be able to file your appeal. Once you do that, click Start Filing, and then you will be brought here. Now, please, this says Berwyn. That's because that's the one I was working on. However, for yours, it'll say your township. But I do want to draw attention to something. Wherever you see a checkbox or a red star / asterisk, you have to complete that task. You cannot move forward in the appeal if you do not complete every task. So we get this question a lot. How do I know if I'm doing the appeal right? This is how you know. You literally cannot go forward if it's done incorrectly. So go ahead and check the boxes, click next. This will auto-populate for you. Click next. And then from here, this is for anyone who had a factual error. Like we were talking about earlier, someone who has the wrong square footage, someone who's being assessed incorrectly based on type of home, meaning we say you're a condo, but you're really a single family home, or we say you're a duplex, but you're really a multi-family home, right? Something like that. Here's where you would let us know that information just by clicking the year, and then that'll kind of throw its way into the appeal, and then it'll be taken care of. Now, here's where it gets a little fun. So if anyone who is watching right now, I got two cameras, so whoever's watching, if you have a prorated property, that means you have a property that has more than one PIN number for the same property. That does not mean you have, so this is for people who have 3 tax bills a year instead of 2, 4 tax bills, 5, 6, 7, those more than 2 tax bills a year. This is for you. 99% of the people who are going to be watching this today, this does not apply to you, so you can just go to next. But if this is you, just go ahead and let us know what that other PIN number is, and then we can go to next. Now here, remember we spoke earlier that wherever there's a star or a red asterisk, you must complete that task. So here, you just want to let us know who you are. Are you the taxpayer attorney? Go ahead and let us know. For the next drop down, are you the taxpayer attorney? Go ahead and let us know. For the next one, just go ahead and make sure your name is there. You might have to scroll if you've had multiple owners on this property, and then the rest of this will auto-populate for you, and we need your phone number and your email address. Here, once you put that information in, this will auto-populate for you. All you have to do is find your property and click select. Now we get to the property characteristics stage, right? Or tab, sorry. Here, most people don't touch this. Most people leave this alone. But if you are that person who knows for a fact that your property is not 100 years old, it is 130 or it's 75, just go ahead and let us know. And you can scroll down this, and from here you can see all the different characteristics that are located or that are a part of your property, and you can edit the ones that you believe are incorrect. If you don't want to edit anything, just go to next. And now we need to know what you believe your property is worth. Our office says it's worth X. You're saying there's no way. The most I can get for my property is Y. Well, go ahead and let us know what the desired market value is, and then you need to let us know why you are appealing. We talked about 3 reasons why one would appeal, but there are other ones. So we can go over vacancy, occupancy. That means you have an empty property. If you do fire damage, that means there was a fire. That means you have police reports, fire reports, insurance claims, pictures, all of these things that you can submit on your behalf. Property description error. We talked about that earlier. Building is uninhabitable. That means you physically cannot live here. And then building no longer exists. Self-explanatory. But as you check these options, and you can't check more than one reason for why you are appealing, you will have to provide a reason why. So I wrote, for the sake of this exemption, the sake of this example, value is too high. You want to give us a little bit more than that so that we know you're actually here to let us know why you are appealing in the first place. And then we need to know, what kind of property do you have? Do you have a single family home? Do you have a building with 6 apartments or less? Do you have a mixed use? Mixed use means you have a restaurant, a business, some type of something on the first floor, and you live on the second floor. Townhome, duplex, only you know the correct answer. Once you're done, you would click next. And now here's where everyone gets excited. So let's take a second, let's pause, and let's listen. So on your reassessment notice, there's a lot of vital information. There's a lot of different things that are very important to your property. Well, once you put in your PIN number, our system will automatically find those filters for you. So here where it says search for comparable parcels, all of that, you don't have to touch anything. Where it says include, you don't have to touch any of that because it's already auto-populated by what's on your reassessment notice. So from here, you would scroll down a little bit. You can't see it on the screen because it's right here. It's at the bottom, but the screenshot wasn't big enough. You just click find comparables, boom, and you're done for that part. But if you have a specific property you want our office to look at, you know for a fact the guy across the street is one of your comparables. That's where this custom additional search criteria comes into play. Here, you just give us the PIN number and click find comparable. And once you do that, you will be brought to this screen. The list of comparables will be shown here, and then they will be compared. Now, for this example, I only chose one, but you can choose as many as you want. Once you choose your comparables, they will be listed here side to side, showing you kind of a way for you to review, make sure this is something you want to do, this is the right one you want to do. And if you are not comfortable with the comparable you chose, press previous. If you are comfortable with the comparables you chose, click next. After you click next, you come to the attachment page. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is where you would attach pictures, appraisals, sales reports, sales analysis, closing documentation, sheets of comparable literature. Now, we are at the end of the appeal, and fun fact, we get this all the time. What happens if I want to use an attorney? Go ahead and do so. That is your right. But you only typed a total of 7 times in this appeal. Only 7. And 2 of those were duplicates. You typed the same thing twice. So I just showed you how to do this. They're going to do literally the exact same thing. There's nothing special. There's nothing. No one knows a guy. No one has a friend. None of that exists. Just letting you know, you can do this for free. We just walked you through it. So here, you go ahead and give us your name, give us your phone number, your email address, click the word submit. Now, from here, you can still start, edit, pause, stop, whatever you want to do. But if you click yes, are you sure you want to file this, submit this filing, then you will receive a confirmation email. A confirmation from the appeals system. It'll say confirmation on it. It'll have a filing ID number. That number is very important. That's how you identify which appeal is yours, because everything's anonymous. We don't have your name here. We can't look up your appeal. Well, you can't look up your appeal by your name. It has to be by your filing ID number. So if you were to contact our office and say, hey guys, can you tell me the status of my appeal? We'll say, what's your PIN number? What's your filing ID? But you can also log right back in and go to my filings and find your appeal there as well. From our website, cookcountyassessor.com, you can check your exemption history, your appeal history, your assessment history, your literally anything, your property characteristics, anything you want on any property. It's all public record. This is not an exemption presentation, but I do want to go over these very quickly. The ones that are in yellow, the homeowner's exemption, the senior citizen exemption, and the persons with disability exemption are auto-renewed going forward. That means once you receive them, you don't ever have to apply for them again unless there's a deed change or something happens. The ones that are in red are auto renews going forward as well, but with special stipulations. So that is the home improvement exemption and the veterans with disability exemption. Here is what a tax bill looks like. Bottom left-hand corner where it says tax calculator, that is where your discounts are or your exemptions, your homeowner, your senior freeze, all of them will be listed right there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to connect with us directly, you can absolutely do so. You can call us at 312-443-7550, or you can connect with us on social media, which is what I recommend you do. You can send us a DM on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Yahoo. Oh my gosh, I just aged myself. I meant YouTube. On YouTube, you can do all of those things, or you can make an appointment and meet us downtown, 118 North Clark, or the Markham Courthouse location, 16501 South Kedzie, or the Skokie Courthouse location, 5600 West Old Orchard Road, room 149, or the Bridgeview location, 10220 South 76th Avenue, room 205. That's right up the escalator and to the left. You can do all of those things as well. But now, for my favorite time of the night, let me stop sharing my presentation. Let me get out of here. And let's jump into these questions, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got here. All right. Stella Black, thank you so much for always being here, always being encouraging, always being motivating. I really appreciate. You have no idea. I really appreciate it. Let's see what we have here. Ms. Rogers says, if you consider yourself disabled, do you need documentation to get the exemption? I have a handicap placard. Great question. So just having the handicap placard does not mean you qualify for the disabled person's exemption. However, I just threw in the chat earlier, earlier in the event, I threw in the chat what you actually need. So you will need a disabled person's exemption application and a P-tax form. They come together once you download them from our website. I threw the link there. That P-tax form you would give to your physician or your optometrist, and there they will fill it out on your behalf. Then you would submit it back to our office, and if everything qualifies and everything meets our requirements, you get the exemption. Hope that helps. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. Okay, Sue Henson says, let's bring this up. Who qualifies for the long-time exemption? Great question, Ms. Henson. So this is for anyone who owns and occupied their property for 10 consecutive years. So that's January 1, 2012 to January 1, 2022, requirement number one. Requirement number two is you do not make more than $100,000 as a total household income. And requirement number three is that your equalized assessed value, so not your tax bill, your equalized assessed value has increased significantly depending on what township you live in. Now, there are many different townships, so we have to do the math for you. Our office actually does. So in April, we actually sent out the applications to everyone who qualified. If you did not receive an application, there's a 99% chance you did not qualify, and that's why you didn't get it. Most people who believe they qualify don't because of the equalized assessed value. They may have done something in the past, or their EAV may have dropped instead of increased significantly like it needs to. Regardless of whatever the case is, all you have to do is connect with our office directly, give us your PIN number and your phone number. And as a matter of fact, give me a quick second. I'm going to find this link for you, and I'm going to drop it in the chat. Got the link. Connect with us directly here. I just threw it in the chat, and you can use that link to send us your information, and we can tell you if you qualify or not. Very simple. It takes 30 seconds. So hope that helps. Deborah Matthews says, how do I get a copy of my reassessment notice? There are a lot of different ways you can do this, but here's what I would suggest. I would suggest you contact our office immediately, directly, using the link I just put in the comment section. That way someone can connect with you and get you your reassessment notice. I would hate for you to miss I would hate for you to not appeal because you're unsure of what your new value is. So please take advantage of that. What else do we have here? That's about it. I don't see any other questions. So thank you so much for your guys' time. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you spending your dinners with me. It means a lot. I'm about to go upstairs. I can smell the food. Oh my gosh, sorry. But thank you so much for your time. I want to wish everyone here have a great night. Thank you to Assessor Kagi. Thank you to the Civic Engagement team who have been in the background holding it down. I want to thank everyone for their time. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. So thank you. Be safe. Be wise. Be blessed. Ooh, Ms. Rogers says, when are you on again? So you can go to our website, cookcountyassessor.com, and you can go to our events, and you'll see when we have virtual events and in-person events, and you can totally meet us up, come hang out, or come back on Facebook, whatever you want to do. But we love the company. I love the company. I really do. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. I appreciate all the comments. You guys have a great night. Hope you guys, just be safe, be wise, be blessed. Love you guys. You guys be good.